Hello, folks. Still doing so. We're back again. So my apologies there for that. Have to say, I'll just jump back into here into Facebook. Make sure we're still on. Right, no sound. Can you hear me now? Can you, folks? Basically, what happened there? We're walking away, and it wasn't the fault of Facebook this time or anybody else. I think it was my ma basically unplugged the internet by accident. So it was. I was just I can't hear no sound. You can't hear me? We down again? Can you hear me now? Hello. That's us now, right, folks? That's us now. See, normally when we have a wee glitch, it's normally the problem of Facebook or YouTube has cut us down, but not today. It's basically let's say apologies. I think it was my ma was trying to get the show on the big screen downstairs on the TV, and something's happened, and basically she's knocked the internet off in the house, the broadband, the Wi-Fi, whatever you want to call it. But my apologies, folks. Listen, what we're going to do is we're going to start off again. Is we did play the whole full version of Ian McInnes. You all heard it, okay? So my apologies. I'll delete all the other streams so you don't get confused. I know Hugh, he's an owl lad, so he is, and he thinks we're on or off, So Hugh, if you're listening, Hugh O'Neill, this is the proper stream you're watching now, okay? Right, here we go. So we'll start off this one again. For the anniversaries of Declan Martin, Henry Hogan, folks. This is from Emer McLachlan, live at the Rock Bar album. The Hills Around Dunloy, of course, written by our father, Jerry. Here we go.
I'm going to slow it down with a ballad this time. Two great volunteers, Henry Hogan and Declan Martin. It's another Irish Brigade song written by Jerry. A song called The Hills Round Dunloy. Speak with pride the names of Martin and Hogan, volunteers that were valiant and true, and they grudged not their young lives for Ireland. It was proudly we bade them adieu. In their youth, how they longed for freedom, spared on by the taunts of the foe, and they vowed that they would not bow down before them. In the footsteps of Hughes they would go. We die, that the green flag that we so dearly cherish might wave high o'er the hills round Dunloy. It was on a mild February evening, Henry Hogan in full battle dress set out with the gallant Declan Martin to engage with the foul SAS, and England's pride on that evening was humble. Man to man they led to of them low. It was then that a hidden assassin opened fire as they turned to go. Weep not for our past and gallant comrades, but fight on for this land where we die, that the green flag that we so dearly cherish might wave high o'er the hills round Dunloy. farewell to our gallant sons of Ireland. Mother Erin, they say not, weep not for our past and gallant comrades, but fight on for this land where we die, that the green flag that we so dearly cherish might wave high o'er the hills round Dunroy, might wave high o'er the hills round Dunroy.
Yeah, fantastic there, folks. Even the Glahan there for you. The hills around Dunloy there for Henry Hogan and Declan Martin, whose anniversary is today, folks. So it is. So yep, that's a great re-rendition of that song there from our Emer. And again, folks, my apologies. Now, I can just see here on YouTube that everybody is getting stuck into our Ronan, my wee brother, because he basically wrote, "Sorry, folks, my fault." It isn't actually our Ronan. My ma is saying in on Ronan's username. So she is. So when she says my fault, she actually means her fault, not Ronan's fault. So don't be saying that. But usually it is our Ronan's fault, because he wired this whole house together, all the internet and everything else, and it's always breaking down. So technically it is his fault. We're going to blame him anyway. So we are. But yeah, folks. For once, it wasn't YouTube or Facebook that knocked me off. It was actually me own mad trying to get on the TV, and somehow I got the bloody the internet knocked off. But sure, it's a bit of crack. Right, so we'll jump back into Facebook here, and we'll get a few more requests on. James Corbett, Emer has got the voice that would give us goosebumps. Brilliant singer, definitely. Leo Fagan said, "What happened to Rome, mate? What do you think about the Celts tonight? Can you play Meet Me at the Pillar by the Irish Brigade?" Mate, it's kind of the stage now where, like, see now, I'm just not interested. I mean, they're starting to put a bit of a run together, but listen, the sooner or later we get next season going, the better. But listen, if any of us are members of the Glasgow Celtic Champions page or the private group, I stuck a post up last night on it, and literally about saying I think if we get Mick McCarthy in as a new manager, Jesus, the abuse I took, and like basically people I was on heroin or drugs or blocked or something to suggest such a thing. So would, but I honestly think it'd be a good shout. Mick, as obviously a former player, he's doing pretty well in the championship. He's done pretty well where he's been in England, so he has, like. So I think if anybody's thinking that we're going to get the likes of Jose Mourinho or Benitez, you have an R coming, and Eddie Howe, I think, is going to be landing the job in the Premiership very soon. I'd say he's going to be ending up in Newcastle very soon, so I think that's out the window as well. Karen Dixie Downey, well done, Mammy, yes indeed. Right, so Shane McParlin says, say hello to the Provos, and I wrecked the place, DJ. Damien Coogan, good man. Well, Damien, again, great set last night, mate. You were getting cut off as well, I seen that there, but sure, mate, here, the sound is class. You use one of these wee leads now, because it sounds the part. I think you and Sean have got together, obviously, and you're getting your sound together, but fair play to you. He's actually up there in South Derry, actually have got your act together now, actually you have, after living in the dark ages for about 20 years. Only joking. Right, so I'll go back on the YouTube here. So Hugh Little says, Ro, what's happening with the podcast? I can't see you here or anything. Hugh, that's as you're about 70 years of age and you're just an old man, you know. Michael Bolton, we're down again. No, we're not down again. Hugh O'Neill, thank God we're back. Katrina McIver, I can hear you now. Happy days. Justin McQuillan, yes, we're on. Rob says, you're all hear me. Brilliant. Michael Bolton says, yes, mate, your mummy's fault. Let's see. See, everybody's still getting stuck on the Iron on YouTube, see, are. Oh, God. Joseph McGuy says, would you play Lock On Martyrs by the Irish Brigade for my old mucker, Thomas McSaid in the Royal? He had a bad car accident last week and he's getting better. Happy days. Sorry to hear it there. Marty Heaney. Kate. Yes, right. So Joseph Pierce says, Ro, just want to ask you this. Who wrote the Ballad of Pierce Jordan? Well, who wrote the Ballad of Pierce Jordan was Mickey McNally. There's no Mickey. He used to play the mandolin for the Irish Brigade. He's now with Misa Era, with his brother. So yeah, Mickey McNally and his wife Maura wrote the Ballad of Pierce Jordan. So they did, along with the song about the streets of Gibraltar as well. So they wrote. Cian Craigie says, Craig was 90 and then man. Oh, that's a good shout there, Craigie. Celine says, Kate's a bad girl. So Hugh Neal says, Rogan, please play under the Irish Brigade under one single banner. Right, so here we go. Kev, Son of Iron says, Ro, anything from Misa Era, Rebel Band, seen them in Petter Branch, right? We're going to get something on them today, right? So we're going to go back on with the tunes, folks. Back on with the tunes. Right, so this one, as you know, we'll have Chris Carney on, folks, on the show from about 2 o'clock, another 35 minutes. So our first, back with the guest this week. So we're going to do a tune here from the very first band that Chris was in, Clan Carney. As far as I know, it was a band that he shared basically with his father and his sisters and whatever. And they toured all over the place. That's a great band tour. So this one here is a song called Lullaby to Heaven. It's Clan Carney with Lullaby to Heaven here on Rebel Sundays, folks.
Fight for freedom, many men have fallen. Their lives given proudly for the cause. Those gallant lives given for their country. To you now the story I will tell. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven? Let your comrades know you understand. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven? Let our lads and lassies all sing along. Remember Peter Cleary and Fergal Carker. Both were murdered by the forces on the crown. We'll speak with pride of Jim Lockery and Sean Campbell. In South Armagh these gallant men did dwell. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven? Let your comrades know you understand. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven? Let our lads and lassies all sing along. In North Armagh, remember Magalvena. Crossy, Burns, Toma and McYar. And from Tyrone, McKerney, Cardy and Coney, McNally, Ryan, Tony, Doris too. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby? Let your comrades know you understand. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven? Let our lads and lassies all sing along. Remember Kelly and Jim Bryson, Skipper Burns, Sean Savage and Billy Ray. sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven. Let your comrades know you understand. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven. Let our lads and lassies all sing along. Let's not forget the girls who died for our land. Pettigrew, Fitzsimons and Moira Drum. From Portadown came young Julie Dugan. Marie Farrell in Gibraltar made her stand. Won't you sing them a song, sing a lullaby to heaven. Let your comrades know you understand. Won't you sing a lullaby to heaven. Let our lads and lassies all sing along.
There we go. That sounds Clan Carney there for you folks. Of course, the very first band of Chris Carney, who we're on the show for you in another half an hour or so's time. Yeah, there was Lullaby to Heaven, fantastic song that one. So it is. Right, hold on a second. We'll just jump back into YouTube here. Loads of people commenting, folks. Yeah, you can just we're back also on the Facebook stream and YouTube. So if you're on Facebook, please share the stream with me, folks. Just hit the share button, and we'll get as many people on. Going to be a great interview with Chris coming up very soon. Francis McPeak here on Facebook. Beautiful. Richard O'Callaghan. Ricky is watching from Dublin. Anne Gilland. God bless all our fallen comrades. Let's see. Elton Collins says, "Will you please play the ballad of Edward O'Brien? Great shout, mate, by Fenian Folk. His anniversary was on the 18th. I think it's on the Legacy album. I'll get a wee check and see, mate." Mark Nesbitt is on. Martin Dockery by the Irish Brigade or Spirit of Freedom. Yep, that's going to be on today at some stage. So it isn't, is it? John Costello. Hi, Ro. How you doing, John? Sean McCurry. Well, Sean, what's the crack? Hi, Rory. Certain great as always. Any chance of the Lonely Wood of Upton 100th year anniversary of the Upton ambush this week? Yep, I'll get that on for you, mate. Not a problem. We're here at 4 o'clock, so loads of time for the Rebs on this afternoon. Let's see. We'll jump back into YouTube now and see what we have on here. Let's see, right. See, Oliver on. How you doing? Hello, Big Ro. Shout out to Celine. Tell her thanks for the burnt sausages yesterday. There you go, Celine. At least we'll hear you getting fed anyway, Oliver. You should be looking at a gift horse in the mouth. I'm a mess. So, folks, if any of you are watching YouTube here, the guy Ronan Carson's commenting is not Ronan, my brother. It's my ma. Just so you know. So we'll have to try and get her saying them properly. So we can get her. Or talking properly. Right, loads of people asking farewell to Blacklie, folks. Yes, don't worry, it's going to be on very, very soon. Of course, Tom McElwee's mother passed away yesterday in South Derry, so we're going to have that there on very soon. It's lined up, don't worry. There's loads of dedications, got loads and loads of friends and comrades up around South Derry, and they've all been PM me, asked me to play it, so don't worry, it's going to be on, folks. Right, so we're going to do a tune next. If you had seen this morning, I put a post on Facebook, Instagram, and all there saying, right, I have some big news coming up. So that's what I'm going to say now to Crackers. So, folks, obviously you remember last year I tried to run the big Rebs for Hope Night in the PD club, and then it was going great, sold out completely, and then of course COVID hit, and it just was a shit show and we couldn't do it. And then basically we've done it online, Rebs for Hope, and we raised a lot of money from that there. And then so we ended up just cancelling the function altogether, because it just wasn't going to be happening. We couldn't get a date down, the bar was closed and everything, so we've donated all of the money from the ticket sales, obviously with basically the people's help for buying them and stuff and giving them information. We donated all the money to the two suicide charities, the Suicide Awareness and Support group in West Belfast, and of course Pips over in North Belfast. Right, so obviously it's looking like this year I'm not going to get the function on either from that, folks. Really down to just nobody knows what's happening. We can't know when bars are going to open. Nobody knows when live music will be allowed back. Nobody knows when people are going to be actually allowed to go out and go to a proper a concert. So what I've decided is, all the time people are always asking me, Ro, will you not sell a CD or a USB with all the music you play on the show? So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to be releasing a CD, folks, a compilation album. Basically coming up very, very. I'm looking like it's going to be getting released in April, folks. So it is. So I'll tell you now, the CD is more, it's completed. So it is. So what I've done is went around and I've asked a lot of my friends on the scene would they donate a song for me onto the album. Actually, I wouldn't just go and release this album and go and release this out and sell it and basically off the back of other people's music. So I've around asked everybody's permission first, can I use their songs, asked most of the authors of the songs, and they've all given the go ahead. So it's going to be the Rebs for Hope, the album, and it's going to be released in April, folks. So this is I'll give you I'll tell you what songs on it, but there's 16 songs will be on it, and big shout out to all the people who have donated songs. So Bick McFarland, Plankstick Folk, Krista Coyle, Kelly's Men, Marty Healy, Sean McCaffrey, Clover, Marty Higgins, Glasnevin, Emer McLaughlin, the Irish Brigade, Rebel Hearts, Damien Quinn, Misa Era, Gary Ogue, and Chris Carney, folks. So I'll give you the basically the lineup of the songs once the thing is ready to go, when it's going to be sold. But the big thing is now, right, the CD is near ready to go. It just needs to go to the printers. But obviously because I want to make all of the money that I'm from this here to go towards the two charities, I'm trying to spend basically as little as possible. So if there's any businesses out there, right, obviously I can maybe try and get 3 or 4 businesses together to donate sort of the money to print the first batch of CDs. So I need £300, right? Basically, the company is doing the CDs for me first, basically all printed for £300. So if there's anybody out there, folks, listen now, that maybe has a few quid, they are, but I know everybody's sort of stretched, but if you maybe want to bunch together, send me a wee PM on my own personal page or on the Facebook page and just say, listen, I can donate this here, whatever. And anybody has donated toward any businesses towards the CD, I will give you a shout and your name will be on the album and stuff. So say this is going to be released in April, folks. It's a new compilation Rebel album called Rebs for Hope, the album. It's going to be in association with myself, the Rebel podcast, and all of the money from the sales from the CDs is going to be going towards the two suicide charities that I do a lot of work for, Suicide Awareness Support Group in West Belfast and Pips over in North Belfast. So folks, just keep an eye out there, and I'll be talking about a lot more over the next few weeks whenever it comes to fruition. But listen, that's the sort of big news I was talking about, what's going to be happening. Right, so we're going to go next. This is one of the songs that's on the CD. So big thanks to Krista Coyle from Derry, who's actually over in Glasgow at the minute living. And this is a song from Daggy McLaughlin. So it's called I Believe in You. But I Believe in You, and it's all about basically the women in the struggle. I mean, we would not have got war without the women, so we wouldn't. And it's a class song. Daggy never released this one himself. Gary O will be more known for singing this one, but obviously Krista's put this in her album. It's a cracking song from a great Derry woman. So this is Krista Coyle with I Believe in You.
Napping up and down the highways in the dead of night, singing songs about the justice I don't believe is right, but I believe in you. And I've seen 100 graveyards and a chance to say goodbye. I've never known an English soldier, I've seen a couple die, but I believe in you. And there's no flowers at the graveside yes, that's women on their feet. I believe in you. Yes, I believe in you.
Yeah, there's a Chris Coyle there, if you I Believe in You, and a great Chris Cruikshank with the saxophone there. Not how often you hear a sax. Dackie McLaughlin, his own track, of course, and it's made more famous by Gary O. Normally he sings it, but that one there is by Chris Coyle. So that's going to be on the new CD, folks. The Rebel podcast presents Rebs for Hope, the album, and that's going to be out, folks, in April. So as I say, I'm trying to get together a few businesses. We're going to maybe lump together one sort of lump sum of money, and if you can all put it together. So we need 300 quid basically for the first batch of CDs, and obviously all the money that's raised from it, I wanted to donate it towards the two charities. So basically as little money is spent as possible is my main aim, so the two charities can get all the money, folks, right? So listen here on Facebook, Ginger McKenna, well, Ginger, Fraser McLeod, listening on Cope Bridge, very, very Republican Cope Bridge indeed. Josephine Lily Madden said, looking from Raid Farrell by Emer. Richard Collins, yeah, some great women, definitely indeed. Josephine Lily Madden says, Abe McInerney on his anniversary, please. Josephine, I played at the very first song, if you were listening or not. Obviously, I played basically before we got cut off by my internet server, aka my mother. I played the very first song of the show was Jerry Cunningham's latest, his latest version, the updated version for this year, and it's fantastic. So it is. If anybody's on Facebook, you can check out my Facebook. I put it on last night, folks, the video for it, and listen, it was 6 minutes long. It was a brilliant version. Jerry's new version of Aidan McInerney. Aidan Brown, count me in for a few bob for a spot. Aidan, fantastic, mate. Much appreciated. And folks, just while you're on, somebody, I think it was Kiva Groves asked, where can you get the Chris Carney albums? Well, if you want to buy an actual hard copy CD, you can only buy them from Potter Brown's Pub. So if you go on the Potter Brown's Pub, just check it out and send them a PM. You want to buy one of Chris's albums, and Aidan will show you out there. He'll send it anywhere in the world. And you can just pay for it by PayPal, whatever, or say all the stuff's on Spotify as well if you want, so you can download it or watch it. So you can. Right, so let's see, we'll just jump back onto YouTube and see what we have. Kevin Lawler said, could you please play Aidan McInerney as today is his anniversary? Well, Aidan, I already played at the very, very start of the show, so I did, mate. Owen Sherlock says, cracker version. Yes, folks, you're all getting on board with the CD, which is fantastic. So, say just keep an ear out. It's going to be released in April, and say all the money is going to be going towards these two great suicide charities that we've raised so much money for last year. I hope to continue the pay for it this year. Carl McCroy says, Rule can't tip and scan and pay, won't work, bad connection. You should be able to, Carlin, if you want to. It's just a screen, I'm not sure, but if you want to go on the PayPal, just go on to paypal.me. I see you can't click. See that there's a screen there. You can't click on it. That's just a wee ad. So she can't basically click on your thing. So that's just an ad for it. But you can scan your phone over the wee QR code there. If you're watching from somebody else's phone, whatever. But if any of you do want to donate, folks, or you can leave a tip for today, just go on to paypal.me/DJ Rose Show. And folks, loads has happened in the last few weeks, and it's so much appreciated. Right, Kiva, that's not a problem. Rich, what do we go do next here? Right, so folks, as you know, yesterday, Thomas McElwee's mother passed away up in South Derry, and of course Thomas was one of the hunger strikers, so he was. So we're going to do this one, loads of requests for this, and it's only just right that we do the original version. Lots of people have recorded this song, but we're going to do Jerry Glacken's original version, and this is from the album Rule of Honour. So it's the Irish Brigade, of course, for Alice McElwee, Tom McElwee's mother in South Derry, who passed away yesterday. This is McElwee's Farewell to Balaki.
Farewell to Balahi, likewise Tom locked off, and the green hills of Derry that I dearly love. My thoughts return to you from my dark H-block cell. So friends and brave comrades, I bid you farewell. For hundreds of years now, we've kept up the fight, and the history books told me of Ireland's plight. So with gallant Francis, I have followed the cause to conquer the tyrant and defy England's laws. Through the hills of South Derry we marched and we drilled to our exploits in action. All Irish youth thrilled, most feared men in Ulster, volunteers on the run. We give England her answer from the barrels of our guns. So farewell to Balahi, likewise Tamlock Down, and the green hills of Derry that I dearly love. My thoughts return to you from my dark H-block cell. So friends and brave comrades, I bid you farewell. Oh gallant South Derry, you are forever blessed in the struggle for freedom. You have given your best. There's Hughes and there's Bateson, Sheridan and Lee, and inscribed with their names now, brave Tom McElwee. So farewell to Balahi, likewise Tamlock Down, and the green hills of Derry that I dearly loved. My thoughts return to you from my dark H-block cell. So friends and brave comrades, I bid you farewell. So friends and brave comrades, I bid you farewell.
As I walked through the Glen Shane Pass, I heard a young girl mourn. The boy from Tamleduff, she cried, is 2 years dead and gone. How my heart is torn apart, this young man to lose. Oh, I never see the likes again of my young Francis Hughes.
For many years his exploits were a thorn in England's side. The hills and glens became his home, as where he used to hide. Once when they surrounded him, he quietly slipped away. Like a fox went to the ground and kept the dogs at bay.
As he moved around the countryside, he often made the news, but they could never lay their hands on my brave Francis Hughes. Finally, they wounded him and captured him at last. Took him from the country countryside he left, they took him to Belfast.
From the Musgrave Park to the Crumbling Road, and then to a Hageblock cell, he went straight on the blanket in an hunger strike as well. His will to win they could never break, no matter what they tried. He fought them every day he lived, and he fought them as he died. As I walked through the Glensheen Pass, I heard a young girl mourn. The boy from Tam let off, she cried, is 2 years heading on. Oh, my heart is torn apart, this brave man to lose. I'll never see the likes again of my brave Francis Hughes.
There you go, folks. For that one there, we had, of course, Farewell to Blackie McElwee's Farewell in memory of Alice McElwee, Tom McElwee's mother, who passed away yesterday up in South Derry. And just to make it right nicer, we brought in as well the boy from Tom Knocked Off, of course, all about Tom McElwee's cousin, the great legendary Francis Hughes there. And that there was from the South Derry band, Celtic Rogue, which is an old album, has been out in a while. So, yep, there you go, folks. Loads of people loving the respect here from South Derry this afternoon. Patricia Clark says, Ro, your programme is one of my favourite part of my Sundays. Good morning from Plymouth, Mass. Thank you very much, Patricia. I see you have put away Avery Coast there flag instead of a tricolour. But sure, we'll let you have it. Francis McPeak, beautiful tribute. Ro McCara, happy days. Myra, fabulous Ro. Josephine Lily Madden says, beautiful song, great respect. Right, so see, we'll jump into see what on YouTube here, what Marty Heaney had said about was busy doing like an online Rebs for Hope to get money to raise money to the CD. So what I had planned on doing that there, Marty, on the launch night of the CD, but basically what I want to do is have the CDs first so I can sell them on the night, of the launch of it. Obviously I would like to have a proper launch somewhere in a bar, but the way these things are going right now, that's going to happen anytime soon. So it isn't. So what I plan on doing is I can get the CD together, get it purchased, and then we're going to have a proper online Rebs for Hope launch night of the CD, and hopefully we'll get a few of the acts who are singing on the CD on the night as well. So brilliant. Owen Sherlock are just PM me up from Celtic Canvas, who's threw a few quid towards the pot for the CD. So folks, anybody else there who wants to sort of maybe donate a bit of a lump sum, you're more than welcome to just send me a wee PM. I'll show you how to pay, folks. But much appreciated for Owen there getting the ball rolling. Of course, Aidan as well, who's promised to donate a few quid. So thank you very much, folks. It is a great cause, and you know how much money we raised there last year for the two suicide charities, and it's a very good cause. So this CD is going to be a fantastic album, folks. When you hear the songs, it's going to be on it. You'll be blown away. Right, so we'll go up next here. We're going to have two more songs, and then we're going to have Chris Carney on the phone for us. So I'm just seeing what song we have lined up here next. While I was talking away there, father-in-law, he made a wee digger during the week, saying I talk too much in this here, so I do. I don't, maybe, but I suppose it's a podcast. It isn't like a music show. I mean, I don't really know what a podcast is. It's sort of half talking shit and then half sort of like playing a bit of music. But we're going to do this time by the end of Dockerly, the Celtic Night, and this time we're going to do his version of The Fighting Men from Cross McGlen. And after this, we'll have Chris Carney's first song of the afternoon, then we'll have him on the phone for his interview. So here we go.
I'll sing a song of the bravest men, bravest fighting units from Armagh. They are the men from Crossmaglen, amongst the bravest Ireland's ever known. We're in Crossmaglen, the fire burns through, the patriotic flame will never die. And when you hear the battle cry, it will be those fighting men across the glen. At night you'll hear the sickles roar, Armalites
Yes, in the docket here for the Celtic Night. Here we go. So we're going to do this one. It's the first tune today from Chris Carney, folks. And this, I believe it was the very first Rebel song that he learned, the very first song that he played on stage from when the Irish League got him up when he was a young kid. So this is from his album Live Potter Browns in Dublin. Fantastic CD, folks, if you can get your hands on. So this is Chris Carney with track Bottle of Georgian Pop.
Right, folks, here's another song I'm going to do. It's one of the first Rebel songs I learned along my path. It's all dedicated in memory of George McBride and Charles Crock Maguire, 20 volunteers of Derry who were gunned down in active service. So it's a song called Georgia Pop. I'm going to do here. On the slopes of the Craggin, one morning in May, our lads left the base with our hearts to embrace, and the cause was for freedom, a cause long denied, and the foreign oppressor they went to defy. While patrolling our streets, they met with the foe, and with guns at the ready, our lads had to go. So we'll raise up our hands and we'll curse that British land who torment the very hearts of men who dare to cross their path. But my heart's it's broken too. Won't you tell me what to do? They couldn't stop our Georgian pop, and they'll not stop me and you. For the place it went silent as the shooting died down, to young lads selling dead on the streets of our town. So another two lights lost while the sun go and fights, and in Derry we mourn on that fatal night. So we'll raise up our hands and we'll curse that British land who torments the very hearts of men who dare to cross their path. But my heart's it's broken too. Won't you tell me what to do? They couldn't stop our Georgian pop, and they'll not stop me and you. Now George and Pop, they like cold as stone. They're fighting for Derry, their own native home. So always remember, and don't ever forget, they're fighting for Ireland, and we owe them the debt. So we'll raise up our hands and we'll curse that British land who torments the very hearts of men who dare to cross their path. But my heart's it's broken too. Won't you tell me what to do? They couldn't stop our Georgian pop, and they'll not stop me and you.
There we go, folks. The Ballad of George and Pop from Chris Carney, live from Patter Brown's in Dublin. So hopefully we should have Chris on the phone right now. Over there, Chris.
Bro, what's happening? Can you hear me all good?
Yes, happy days when we're on. Good. Listen, Chris, so welcome along finally to the Rebel Rail podcast on Rebel Sundays. I have to say, about a year ago, I didn't think this here interview would have happened, but we're here now, so thanks, mate, for coming on. So listen, well, we always sort of kick off the show from the very start. So, obviously, contrary to common belief, you were actually born in Scotland, right, before moving to Ireland. So, obviously, I've been taking some flack this week on Facebook and on Instagram stuff going, he's Irish, he wasn't born in Scotland. So, just explain the situation first about sort of where you were born and whatever.
Well, as one of the debates, and I still get it. I get the odd text from people saying, quick message, you're born in Scotland or Ireland. So, I was born in Scotland, and my dad was he was a Dublin man, and he had been living in Scotland where he met my ma a number of years ago. And I was born in 91, so we moved over, I think, to Dublin in 96. And I never took up the accent, though, that's the thing. And you asked me there the other day, I still have a strong Scottish accent, and I said it's because I've 5 sisters and a brother. And I was the youngest, so I was listening to them growing up rather than anything else, so the accent stuck.
So is your ma Scottish then, is she, aye?
My ma's Scottish, aye. Right, okay. She's originally from Glasgow.
Right, no problem. So, basically, from what age did you sort of first pick up a guitar then? Because you had mentioned your dad had taught you, and then you sort of started teaching him, like, earlier on, like?
I think it was about 8 when I first sort of learned a few chords on the guitar, and then it was after that, probably about 11, that I really started learning a few songs, and took it there from really, I just learned a lot of ballads at the time, and then I got into rebel songs and started learning them as well, so it was from my dad originally, you know.
Right, so who would have been like a sort of a big influence on yourself music-wise growing up then?
Growing up, I think, with the Scottish connection, and in the house we always had the Wolf Tones playing.
Like most people,
before Celtic games and after Celtic games at home or whatever, it was always the Wolf Tones or the Irish Brigade growing up, so that sort of started me off.
Right, so moving on, so tell us a wee bit about your time in the Dublin Republican Flute Band. As I sort of played in flute bands best part of 30 years, so I always sort of like to hear the experiences of other people that have sort of played in bands in sort of different countries or whatever, like.
I think I had lived for a small time in Spain for about a year and a half. And just before I went to Spain, I joined a flute band here in Dublin, and there was 2 at the time. And I then moved to Spain and came back, and then that had merged into one flute band in Dublin at the time. Right. And it was Smith, Hare, Harford, Doherty and Bell Republican Flute Band. So I was only young, but I met many good people, so I still talk to them to this day, but we sort of were on the road and we're commemorating IRA volunteers, and we're learning our history, and I really thought it was a great inspiration as a young lad, you know what I mean? And we're all used to look forward to road trips over at the boat to Scotland. Yeah, some of the best times of my life.
Definitely. So what would you play the flute, did you?
Well, you always start off with the flute, and I was one of these. I was tiny when I was younger. I'm much bigger now, but I was definitely a lot smaller back then, and the drum wouldn't fit me. So eventually, I think when I came about 14, 15, they got a special made drum for me and a special harness, and I started learning the drum, and that was me playing the drums then.
Right. Okay. So when and sort of where did you first play on stage? Sort of, cause I think sort of. And sort of say to yourself, listen, I'm actually quite good at this rebel stuff, and I can sort of make a name of myself doing it.
So at the time, first started actually singing, and the first time I actually sang was in a pub. It used to be called Fraser's in O'Connor Street in Dublin here. I don't know what it's called now, but it used to be where all the Celtic events were, and I got up half time, and I sang, as you mentioned earlier on, George and Pop, because I was in my room practicing.
Yep.
I was listening to the Piper Band at the time, and I really liked that song, so I decided to sing that, and everybody was like, "Oh, this wee fella can sing!" Like, but I tell you, I don't even think my voice was broke at the time, so God knows what it sounded like.
Yeah. So obviously, so it was like basically the first song you sort of said it was George and Pop. Was that sort of like the first song you sort of practiced and wanted you knew all the words of and stuff, whatever?
Well, it was that and Pierce Jordan. Were
Right,
the
okay.
two songs that the only two songs I could sing that I learned. And then after that reaction, I sort of went home and I just started practicing, and it just fell into place. Then after that, just learning song after song, you know.
Right, so obviously, just talking about that, Pierce Jordan, it was great to see you up here in Belfast recently for Hugh's funeral. You've basically done a
That's
rendition
right,
in his graveyard then, so it was like. Just, again, it's terrible that basically they still haven't got their answers, like, and it didn't, Hugh passing away, like, before they got the
I know.
full outcome Pierce's thing, like. So they did.
I know it was a great honour though. You know, I've always been fairly close to the Jordan family, and it was actually again through the flute band that we had met the Jordan family, and they had we were booked. I think it was a March for Truth. It was a big event in Belfast a number of years ago, and we were booked in a hostel in the city centre, but they cancelled on us when they found out there was 20 odd of us. So Teresa decided, well, come on up to the house. So about 20 odd of us stayed in Belfast, and you can imagine the shenanigans that went on. So it was
many people have stayed in that house over the years, to have, like.
stop madness.
Very welcoming. So they're family, like. So then, so tell us a wee bit about your first band. So obviously it was a family band called Clan Carney. Now, I had sort of heard about the band, but didn't really know of them. But so I went digging. I was looking at a few videos there. Actually, I played one of the songs earlier on there. So that I watched a few videos on YouTube yesterday, and it sort of brought back a few memories of playing in the John Hamilton Centre in Coatbridge, and also the Clock Bar, where I played loads of times with the Allsop over, and so it's great memories. So I mean, obviously, what sort of, how did that whole band start out, and sort of how long we was on the road for?
Well, it sort of just happened naturally, because when we come back from living in Spain, and then obviously me and my dad, we were playing the odd gig together just here and there, and then we decided, my two sisters, Geraldine and Kathleen, who were brilliant singers, and we were all young at the time, so we done a few practices together, and we eventually got a wee set list together. At the time, you know, internet wasn't as handy, so we had to write all the lyrics down, and we had a big portfolio of ballad lists and lyrics, and we'd done a good bit of practice. And our first major gig happened to be in Coatbridge, because we were very close to the people that were in the Coatbridge Republican Flute Band at the time.
Yep.
And as you mentioned, the John Hamilton Centre had some many good sessions in there.
Crazy place.
And the Clock Bar as well. So that's how it sort of stemmed, and then we kind of got a name from there. And then other places wanted us, and I think it lasted maybe just over 2.5, 3 years of constant gigging and getting out there.
Right, honestly, great band. So basically, you obviously just sort of. So was that your whole family was involved? Was that your sisters were on stage as well, singing with you? Was it, or?
It was two of my sisters, two of the 5 sisters. So there was 2 sisters, Geraldine, Kathleen, myself, and my dad. And one of them, Kathleen, played bodhrán, Geraldine sang, I played mandolin, and my dad played guitar. So
fantastic. Right, so Chris, stay on the line for we'll play our song here, right? So I'll just basically turn your volume down in a wee second. But before I obviously started the interview, I played George and Pop from your live CD. As I sort of mentioned it was the very sort of first song you played on stage. This time I'm going to play our song from the live CD, Willie and Danny. So obviously it's no surprise, like on the show, it's my all-time favourite song, right? I always try and play like I think we've just been knocked off Facebook or so, haven't they? For God's sake. We're on exclusively here on YouTube, folks. We've just been knocked off Facebook. Typical, but sure, anyway. Right, so I go back to so it's no surprise it's my favourite all-time Rebel song. I sort of try and play like a different version of it every week, so I do on the show. But I love the way you sort of do like the offbeat on the business. Both these songs.
Well, I think Willie and Danny, as you know, and many people would know the story behind the song. When I first heard it as the Pangerman version, at the same time, it was the same album as they had with George and Pop, and I sort of just hit home, and they had that kind of offbeat version to it as well, and so there was many different versions to it, and I kind of just added my own wee bit to it to kind of try to stick to the original as well. And when I decided to pick it for the CD, it's always a song that tells a great story behind it of Willie Fleming and Danny Doherty, so it's always just stuck with me to sing, you know.
Right, so listen, so if you just stay on the line, Chris, and it's we're not knocked off Facebook. Sorry, Facebook. We're still on. It's got a message. I think it was my phone just sort of knocked the stream off. But yeah, we're still on Facebook, on YouTube. So listen, we'll just go turn Chris's stream down here a wee second. We'll get this here tune on. So this is the next song from Chris Carney today. Erngo Bra. This is the Ballad of Wally and Danny, recorded live in Potter Brown's pub in Dublin.
This is a song that's dedicated to two brave IRA volunteers from Derry, by the name of Willie Fleming and Danny Doherty, some known as Willie and Danny. Try to sing some songs of glory, sing some songs of peace, but in the end it's the same old story. They're both too hard to reach. People tell me they're sick and they're tired, seeing this place run down, and I say, take your blindfolds off, you hypocrites, and help us get off the ground. Please say it isn't so. Why Willie and Danny had to go. The reasons very clear. They're laying down their lives for us year after year. 70 shots between their bodies, not one of those bullets missed. But for every trigger that they pulled that morning, a volunteer they will enlist. For 5 long hours they left them lying there. The priest was turned away. That's another step lower. Well, let's say yes, bastards, we will never forget the day. Please say it isn't so. Why Willie and Danny had to go. The reasons are clear. They're laying down their lives for us year after year. Heroes were to prove their worthiness. As thousands they marched from the streets, as the parcel boys they hovered helplessly overhead, as the ride came out to salute. They emptied their magazines o'er each coffin, as defiantly the crowd were sent. That's another day that dawns, and the guns will be out again, because Willie and Danny are friends. Please say it isn't so. Why Willie and Danny had to go. The reasons are clear. They're laying down their lives for us year after year. Please say it isn't so. Why Willie and Danny had to go. Yes, the reasons are clear. They're laying down their lives for us year after year. Please say it isn't so.
Yep, so the Ballad of Wally and Danny are folks from Chris Erngo Bra, live Potter Brown's pub in Dublin. Are you still on the line there, Chris?
I am indeed, Rob.
Happy days, mate. Right, some great response to that song there in the comments here. Fantastic. So listen, after gigging then for a few years with Clan Carney, you then went and formed a new band called the Players Brigade. So how did that there all come about then?
Well, the Players Brigade had always been there.
Right, okay, right.
Clan Carney just split up. I was asked down to a gig one day, and it went well. It was a big Celtic event that was going on in a pub called the Players Lounge in Dublin, I had never been in it before, and I went in, done the gig, and the guy who was in the band, Jay, who done Aaron Gobra with me for a number of years, he had asked me to join the Players Brigade, and the lineup changed many a times over the short couple of years that it was, and but at the time, John Stokes was our manager, the father of Anthony Stokes, and he had all these links and whatever to get us on the road and do tours here and there. So straight from the get-go, we were straight into action, gigging all over the place, England, Scotland, all over the country in Ireland. So it took off fairly quickly, but it sort of ended fairly quickly as well after a couple of years.
As well, aye. Right, so obviously a really good band, because obviously I was listening to other stuff on YouTube as well, really great quality sort of recordings and stuff you've had, but obviously it didn't really last long, so you moved away to form Aaron Gobra then. So that's where sort of most people would know you from, right, from playing. Obviously now you're a solo singer, you still use the name Aaron Gobra, but so did you say you formed in, is it 2010-11? Was it?
Aye,
Aaron Gobra?
so I think just the mid 2011. I had to think about it the other night, and it was 2011.
So more or less 10 years in you run the road for, like.
Aye.
So,
well, you see, the three of us from the Players Brigade, we sort of were practicing quite a lot before we actually went out, but we had been formed, for a good full year.
Right.
And then it was probably 2012, our first proper gig as Aaron Gobra. And from then on, we've been going,
Right, so obviously,
until that.
From what I can sort of see, you didn't actually record anything, did you, as Aaron Gobra, as a band?
Well, see, at the time, right, and I've heard many bands talk about it, we've done a lot of off sort of thing recordings. I think back in 2011, 2012, the internet wasn't as what it's like today, so and we weren't really into social media. We never really had a platform, but we were recording things on the side, and we never really got a CD together until our first Aaron Gobra CD had been produced. And I think that was in around 2016. It would have been. So that was our first album, and it was a studio album we'd done.
See, I was looking and I couldn't find anything at all from Aaron Gobra, as anything recorded or as an album or nothing. That's why I sort of said. Like, it's sort of a shock to see he's had nothing there, like, recorded, like.
Aye, so what had happened is when we recorded that CD, we never put it on social media platforms. All we done is we went to a company and they produced them for us. Right. And then when we ran out of CDs back then, we just never bothered getting any more.
Done, right. Okay. So then tell us now basically a bit about the band. And obviously, because you've run on the road for a good few years, like, and like obviously, as I sort of said, many occasions on social media, different things, different podcasts. I mean, you're definitely one of the best bands in this country for a good lot of years. You were, like, I mean, sort of just a phenomenal technical band, like, you were.
I mean, we were very young, and I think we were all good friends at the time, and it really worked. We were all on the same wavelength, but over the years, as we started getting a bit older, the gigs were still piling in, and not all of us could make it, and we were sort of setting up our own families, and there was side distractions there. And then I went out on my own and came back again to the band, and we're all very opinionated people, as you can imagine, being a rebel band. I'm sure every rebel band in the country will vouch for this one. We always didn't see eye to eye, but
yep.
we always go on with things, and it just sort of came to a stage. But I tell you, we really had some of the best times on them stages, touring wherever we could. We went, and I mean, I remember doing gigs sometimes 4 or 5 nights a week, and we'd be travelling up to Bundoran, Donegal, in the back roads of nowhere, having a laugh. And I suppose it's just life on the road, isn't it? And we enjoyed it.
So before we sort of talk about making the decision to go out on your own, let's now talk a wee bit about Patter Browns, right? Obviously, I've sort of got to know Aidan pretty well. And when this guy puts his mind to do something, he will do it. I mean, obviously, sort of, especially more when somebody tells him he can't do it. I mean, particularly with the pub, sort of making like a massive success of a former karaoke bar in the Liberties to turn it into probably the only dedicated rebel music bar in Dublin, right? And then obviously going on to sell out a massive rebel night in the City West when many said to him it just simply can't be done. So I think it's fair to say you played a good part in basically making this bar what it is. So you've had over the years. So tell us a wee bit about your sort of connection with Patter Browns.
I think we were sort of struggling to find gigs in Dublin because the rebel nature of songs that we'd done, many of pubs weren't really interested in booking us, so we had to sort of tone it down. And at the time, being young and fire in our bellies, we were wanting the rebel scene. And Aidan took over Para Brown's, and he probably had it for a couple of years, and he contacted us to do a gig, and he'll tell you, I wasn't really one for the talking end of things, so I used to just go up on the stage, turn up, do my gig, go home. And then I think I found after a year or so playing in there, but I really got to know Aidan, and we really just had it off from there. He does a great job. Being where he is in Dublin's south of the city, it's very hard to keep up and stick to your guns when you're a rebel band, rebel band, you know. And I have to say, in spite of it all, he's still fully committed to being. So, I mean, he gave us a big platform there, but the following that we sort of had, we probably worked both of us our favours, you know, and it really started off and just ignited from there, you know. It sort of attracted other bands to come in then when they saw the videos of us on stage and the crowd's reaction. So, from there, it really just took off.
Yeah. So, obviously, shortly after Ballafest 2019, the decision was made for Aaron and Brad to go their separate ways. Obviously, you're still sort of using the name now on your show. So, obviously, you on your own, and the other two members would eventually form their own two-piece, although that didn't really last very long, unfortunately. But and obviously, it was a bit of a shock. I mean, see the band sort of split up. So, I mean, had this been in the pipeline for a while? Because I know, like, when I was talking to Paddy Mangan a while ago when he was leading the Druids, he said that I was going to just do this one big gig, the tour in America, and then that's me gone. He told the lads and all beforehand. It wasn't like a sort of a split decision or a shock decision sort of thing.
Aye, well, I mean, it's not that it was in the pipeline. I think the way it sort of worked was the three of us were at a stage in our lives where I wanted to start broadening again. I wanted to start travelling. I wanted to really get back into the bigger gigs and the bigger scene. And obviously, Jay and Sonia, being best friends of mine for a number of years, it sometimes didn't suit either to just do the farther away gigs. You know, Sonia having a lot of kids at the time and young kids, and Jay, wherever he was in his sort of self. It sort of worked where I wanted to just go a bit further, and they were happy enough to sort of stay central. So it was suggested over the couple of years towards the end, and I suppose we just sort of wanted different things, you know what I mean? So it's not that we fell out. I still talk to Sonia and whatnot, and we were still good friends or whatever. So it's not that we fell out. It's just different business opportunities that I decided that I wanted to go my own way and make a go of it.
Right. Were you sort of surprised that obviously Jay and Sonia, when they went out their own, it didn't last as long as maybe they thought it would have done? Or
well, see, when I first went out my own, I think it was 2016, 2017, and it was only for a year anyway. They had formed a band called Roisin.
Yep.
And they were doing pretty well. They were getting a good name for themselves, and they were always well respected wherever they went. And then when we came back and formed Aaron Bra again for the second time, it was a natural knee-jerk reaction, I think, when I sort of says, right, well, look, I want to take it to a different stage. I want to go out there. I think just for comfort, more so, they joined, or they reformed Roisin. They got a couple of gigs, and just in their own personal situations, I don't think the sort of gigs scene was substantiating their lifestyles at the time. And they probably just called it a day after a few months, you know.
Right. So obviously you now released two very successful albums, the solo artist, right? The first a studio album called The Rare Old Times, and then secondly Live in Para Brown's, and obviously we'll play a few songs there. But before we do it, was there a problem with that live album? Do you have to re-record it or something? I see it read on Facebook. You recorded it and there was an issue with it or something? The original recording?
Well, it was the first live recording that we had organised for Para Brown's was the day after the Celtic and Rangers game, and the pub was rammed.
Rammed, yeah. Right.
The guys that we had used for the first time, Docswork, the sound bunch of fellas, and I think they were from Limerick. And the way it happened is that they set up the mics, but they didn't set it up for crowd interaction. So it's literally all you
just getting yourself, which is for a live gig. Stupid, like you need to have the crowd interaction. Yeah. So
unfortunately, it didn't work the first time around. So we're sort of under pressure, me and Aidan, to come up with a live CD in Para Brown's after sort of promising everyone.
Yep.
So we picked a a night that we thought would be fairly busy, and it was a good wee night in fairness, and it worked out in the end. Probably not as well crowd-wise as we had first intended, but we made it work, and it worked in the end, and credit to the guys in Doc's work and Aidan, who sort of made it successful, so it worked out in the end.
I think sort of every singer, no matter sort of who they are, should record at least one live album. So for me, there's nothing better than the live music sound. I mean, anybody can go in the studio and have all sorts of effects and auto-tune put in and make them sound good, But if you can't do it live on stage, there's just no point. So I definitely think for you, that's definitely where you come in your element. So it is like.
Well, see, for years now, because I find myself, and I sort of only adapted to it in the last few years, was when I'm in a studio, I found myself sort of holding back and trying to be pitch perfect, and you don't get that with rebel music. You don't get that rawness quite often, and only at live gigs you get it. With crowd interaction, I suppose you own to be a wee bit more sort of ballsy. And I suppose the lives, like you've heard them all, the Irish Brigade, Sabine, every one of them, and their live gigs, you just can't beat the atmosphere.
Definitely.
And it gets you in the humour.
So listen, if we eventually do get back out gigging, sort of, and obviously in the south, it's looking like it's going to be a bit longer than here in the north. What's sort of your next plans, Chris, then?
Well, I think, obviously there's no telling when the pubs will be back open, but I think the next biggest plans of mine would be to go to Santa Ponza, and fill in my usual spot over there. And obviously there's a Ballad Fest taking place. I'm sure most of the listeners would have heard or seen about it, but if they didn't, it's taking place in June, I think. I'm hoping right, Aidan will be listening going. I think it's taking place in June, and there's a load of big acts. It sort of changed. Some pulled out. I think we had the Whistle Donkeys in, and they pulled out, and I think the Druids were sort of lined up for it, and they sort of pulled out. And we eventually got the final lineup, and it's to be in the National Boxing Stadium in the South Circular Road.
Which is looking like a cracking venue, like, for a live gig. So it is, like. So I'm seeing the way they lay out the seats and all is like.
Aye, well, you see, when Aidan was contacting me after the City West one, which I don't remember, by the way, but we wanted bigger, and we wanted it more sort of appealing to people and closer to home in the inner city. And he decided upon this. He sent me the pictures and said, "What do you think this is? You know what? Go for it. Why not?" And I think it's going to really, really take off. See if this one does, and hopefully pubs remain open the following year. Hopefully we'll get even bigger, because we've plenty of plans in the project to go for,
Definitely. Well, listen, Chris, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on, mate. I'm going to play out the interview with one more song, right? So it's a song that's probably the biggest requested on this show every single week. Beeswing, right? So this is from your Rural Tales album. So obviously I had never heard this song till about 5 years ago when I heard Marty Healy sing it in Bundoran, McCally's Men, and Marty does a fantastic rendition of this song. Jesus, what a song! So, I mean, just tell us why you think this sort of song is so special. Because, say every week there's at least 4 or 5 requests get asked for it. So there's
I mean, when I first heard it, I only really heard the Chris Moore version of it, and then obviously you hear different artists giving it a go and really doing their own spin on it. I think the way Chris Moore sort of portrayed it and brought it across, it hits everybody home. Anybody that's been sort of or had feelings for another human, I think it really touched home and touches somewhere in your heart. And the words to it are really, really, really good. I think Richie Thompson wrote it from England, and he was a folk singer over there. And I don't know, I suppose it's the words, but it's the tune of it, the medley, and how it's put across by the artist, and it really hits home with people, and it did certainly for me. And I was in a Thursday club in Para Browns, and I was getting hounded for it, so I eventually learned it and started playing it. And from then, every time I'm sort of gigging, you get someone to say Beeswing. So that's, it's a great song, and I really enjoy singing it. So
we're going to lock it out with this one, Chris. Thank you very much for coming on today. Brilliant, really good interview, and hopefully maybe I might see you in Ballafest if it goes ahead this year. So I might. So listen, folks, that was Chris Carney there from Aaron Bra, and this is the final track to finish Chris's interview today. This is Beeswing from his album The Rare Old Times. And just if any of you want to get any of the CDs, you just contact Patter Browns on the Facebook page, and Aidan will sort you out. So Chris, cheers, mate, and I'll talk to you again soon. Thank you.
Cheers, Chris.
was 18 when I came to town to call it the summer of love. Burning babies, burning flags, the hooks against the doves. I took a job at the steaming way down in Calderon Street, and I fell in love with the laundry girl who was working next to me. Red hair's exact around her face, and the look of half surprise, like a fox caught in the headlights, there was animal in her eyes. She said to me, oh can't you see, I'm not the factory kind. If you don't take me out of here, I'll lose my mind. She was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, and she was running wild. She said, so long as there's no price in love I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. We bust around the market towns for picking down in Kent. We could tinker pots and pans and knives wherever we went. We're camping down the Gower one time and the work was mighty good. She wouldn't wait for the harvest, I thought we should. And I said to her, we'll settle down and get a few acres dug, with the fire burning in the hearth and bobbies on the rug. She said, oh man, you foolish man, that surely sounds like hell. You might be lord of half the world, oh not on me as well. For she was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, and she was running wild. She said, so long as there's no price in love I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. Drinking more in those days, and her temper reached a pitch, and like a fool I let her run, she took the rumbling itch. The lass had heard sweet sleeping off back on the Derby beats, with a bottle of white horse in her pocket, a wolf and at her feet. And they say that she got married once to a man called Romany Brown. Even a gypsy caravan was too much to settle her down. They say her roses faded, rough weather and hard booze. Well, maybe that's the price you pay for the change that you refuse. For she was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, so fine a breath of wind might blow her away. She was a lost child, and she was running wild. She said, so long as there's no price in love I'll stay. You wouldn't want me any other way. For she was a rare thing, as fine as a bee's wing, and I love her more than words could ever say. If I could just taste all of her wildness now, if I could hold you in my arms today, I wouldn't want you any other way.
There we go there, folks. Fantastic. Chris Carney of Aaron Bra with Bee's Wing. And just looking through here, all these comments, folks, you're really loving Chris's interview today. I think it's a few people are still sort of shocked that he actually was Scottish originally, but moved over here to Ireland, so he did. But see, there you go. You learn something new every day, folks, thanks to the show. So just loads of great top class. Joel McPhee, Jonesy Lolly Madden, great interview. Chris, Tracy McCullough, brilliant. Dean McDonald, brilliant stuff. Adrian Murphy, great interview. Lisa Collin Thorne, brilliant cast. There you go. Right, folks, so listen, just if any of you are enjoying the show today and you can throw something, just so you can see it in the front of me there, if you can maybe scan the wee thing or just send something to PayPal, just paypal.me/DJ Row Show for a wee tip or donation, folks. It is much appreciated. As I say, from I started putting the thing out there, folks, I didn't sort of think I was... A lot of those bands started doing PayPal links, and to me at the start I was going, no, I'm not going to do it, I'm just going to do the music in the show, and it sort of made it seem like you were begging a bit, but some people were saying me, no, listen, look, you're putting on a 3 hours here, whatever, you're not working, so I mean, it's basically like, if people want to give you a tip, go for it, so I mean, I sort of don't feel as bad now, so don't, and I'd say fair play to everyone that every week has through me something. It is, folks, really much appreciated, I have to say. So if you can throw something in, folks, just put it in there, paypal.me/DJ Row Show, or just scan the wee link there, as you can see on the screen. Kiva Groves just said there now, just order the CD, very easy. Yes, so folks, if you want to get a hold of Chris Carney's CDs, just go to the Potter Brown's Facebook page on Facebook. Yep, Potter Brown's Facebook page, and basically Aidan Legrandi, and you can get your CD posted anywhere you want. So he's 2 CDs there, the Rural Times, which is a studio album, and then his other CD recorded live in Potter Brown's, which you've seen. I played a few songs from both albums today, so I did, and also all the stuff's on Spotify as well. If you're on Spotify, you can download it, have a wee listen. So right, what are we going to do next time? Damien Quinn up next for us, folks, and Damien is back tonight. Rebel Sundays, original time is 6 o'clock. So we're going to do a tune from his album, the Song of the Lark, which is a album he recently released for about all the hunger strikers. So this is Back Home in Derry, of course written by the great Bobby Sands. Every rebel band all over the place has covered this song, and rightly so. So this is Damien Quinn with Back Home in Derry on Rebel Sundays.
In 1803 we sailed out to sea, out from the sweet town of Derry. We're Australia bound, if we didn't all drown, marks of our feathers we carried. Our rusty iron chains we cried for our wains, good woman we left in sorrow. As the man sails unfurled, our curses we heard on the English and lads of tomorrow. At the mouth of the foil, bid farewell to the soil, as down below decks we were dying. Oh, Doherty screamed, woken out of a dream, by a vision of old Robert dying. The sun burned cruel as we dished out the gruel, down O'Connor was down with the fever. 60 rebels a day bound for Botany Bay, how many will reach the receiver? I wish I was back home in Derry. Whoa, I wish I was back home in Derry. I cursed them to hell as above fought the swell. The ship danced like a moth in the fire died. White horses rode high as the devil passed by, digging souls ahead is by twilight. 5 weeks out to sea, we were now 43, burying our comrades each morning. In their own slime, we were lost in the time, singing endless nights till dawning. Whoa, I wish I was back home in Derry. Whoa, I wish I was back home in Derry. Van Diemen's Land is a hell for the man, to end out your whole life in slavery, where the climate is raw and the gun makes the law, neither win nor rank has the bravery. 20 years are gone by, I've ended my bond, comrades goes walk behind me. A rebel I came and I'll die the same, on the cold winds of night you will find me. Whoa, I wish I was back home in Derry. Whoa, I wish I was back home in Derry. Whoa, I wish I was back home in Derry. Whoa, I wish I was back home in Derry.
There's Mr. Rebel Sundays himself there, Damien Quinn there for you, with Back Home in Derry from his album Song of the Lark. And Damien's way live on Facebook tonight with his usual Rebel Sunday show at 6 o'clock, so make sure you tune in, folks. Right, so just back on the Facebook here. James Devin McClave said, is there any other way to donate if you don't use PayPal? Well, listen, you can. I can just send you, a lot of people do a bank transfer as well if you want to send something. So just send me a wee PM to this page, the Facebook page for the podcast, and I'll give you the link if you want something. So thank you very much. Joel McPhee, just talking about Chris Carney. Check out his brilliant sister, Geraldine Carney. Beautiful voice on YouTube as well, on Facebook. Such a talented family. Right, just back on YouTube here. I'm hoping that Missy Hugh and Celine have caught up out there. There's Audrey on. Audrey, how you doing? Great interview with Chris. Another fantastic show. Ro, fair play to the Dublin girls. Yep, up with Dirty Dubs. Michael Turner, hi Ro, and everyone from sunny Worthing, Mon the Hoops, up the Rebels. It's actually sunny Belfast today as well. Chris, Michael, for once, it's usually pissing down, but not today, so it isn't. So there you go. Celine says, Rory, will you be putting up on your page how to get CDs when you're over? I won't remember the page. Yes, so listen, as I mentioned earlier on there, folks, I'm going to be releasing a CD in April. And it's obviously this year, I wanted to get the big, massive Rebs for Hope night, a physical night going, but it's still not looking like we're going to be out in the bars anytime soon. If we are, it's for a drink and a bite to eat. It's not looking like it's going to be any big gigs happening anytime soon. So I've made the decision to, obviously, I always raise a few quid each year for the 2 suicide charities here in Belfast, in West, the Suicide Awareness and Support Group, and of course PIPS over in North Belfast. So come April, I'm going to be releasing the CD called Rebs for Hope, the album, and I have to say, the way it's worked, I've approached a lot of my friends in the Rebel scene. It's great to know so many people, and there's a bit to have your trust to do this with them. So they've all, there's 16 tracks on the CD, 16 separate artists have all given me their go-ahead to use one of their songs on the album. And then, so basically what I'll put it earlier on, I was looking for about, the CDs originally are going to cost me £300 to get the full first batch of CDs. So basically, I'll be looking to try and get £300 for maybe a few businesses put together to get the first batch, and then what we're going to do is I'll put the CDs on sale on my merchandise website where you can buy all my gear, the hoodies and stuff, the big cartel site, which is very easy to buy from, and then I'm going to be doing an online basically CD launch as well. So what I'll be getting a few of the people from that's on the CD to sing on the night, basically to raise money. I'll be the people buy the CDs as well, and plus I donate to the 2 charities. So that's going to be happening as soon as the CD is released. So if there is any businesses out there, folks, probably whoever, I've already had a few today have PM me and have sort of said they're going to send money, so which is fantastic. Thank you. If there is any businesses that want to sort of put their name to the CD and donate maybe £50 or £100, whatever it is, please just PM me, and I'll get you down for it. And obviously your name and stuff will go on the CD as a thank you. So right, what are we going to do next here? There's Pedro on, nice haircut. You've joined the elite. Yeah, Laura done this last night. Pedro about 12 o'clock, half 12, just before I went to bed. Needed it done, man, honestly. This'll do me for an hour a week or so. So it will. Right, so Sean McCurry asked me later on to play the Lonely Woods of Upton, because this week was the 100th anniversary, I believe it was, of the Upton Ambush. So we're going to find this one here. This is from the Paddy Boys. I think these guys are up in Cork, as far as I know. I'm hoping it's them anyway. So this is the Paddy Boys with the Lonely Woods of Upton here on Rebel Sundays, folks, till 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Many homes are filled with sorrow and with sadness. Many hearts are filled with anguish and with pain. For old Ireland now she hangs her head in mourning. For the men who died at Upton for Sinn Féin. Let the moon shine out tonight along the valley, where those men who fought for freedom now are laid. May they rest in peace, those men who died for Ireland. In the lonely woods of Upton, Parsh and Fane. Some were thinking of their mothers, wives and sweethearts. Some were thinking of their dear old Irish homes. And they think of how they drilled along the valley when they marched out from Cork City to their doom. Let the moon shine out tonight along the valley.
On an Easter morn to a city fair rode I. Oh, their armed lines of marching men in squadrons passed me by. No pipe did hum, no battle drum did sound out its loud tattoo. But the Angelus bell, or the Liffey swell, rang out in the foggy tune. Oh, like proudly and high over Dublin town, we hung out the flag of war. It was better to die in an Irish sky than at Suvla or Sudelbar. Oh, and from the flames of royal Meath, brave men together, while Britannia's sons with their long-range guns sailing through the foggy June. Well, the night fell black and the rifle cracked, it perfidious Albion reel. Neath the leaden rain, 7 tons of flame did shine o'er our ring of steel. By each shining blade a prayer was said that to Ireland her sons would be true. And when morning broke, still the war flag shook out its folds in the foggy June. It was England who bade our wild geese go, that small nations might be free. But their lonely graves are by Suvla's wave on the shore of the great North Sea. Oh, had they died by Pierce's side, or fought with the Provost too, when they're and the requiem bell tolled mournfully loud and clear. For those who died on that Easter tide at the springtime of the year, while the world did gaze in deep amazement at the gallant memory. Freedom's light might shine through the foggy June. Back through the glen I rode again, but my heart with grief was sore. For I parted then with valiant men, of them I will see no more. But to and fro in my dreams they go, and I pray for you. For slavery fled, oh, the rebel dead, when you fell in the foggy
Yes. Go ahead, Jerry Glacken. You legend, you. Right, I think through the course of that song, YouTube seemed to have sorted its shit out and get back to the normal as well as. Oh, Jesus Christ, there, folks. Yeah, there's still loads of people watching on Facebook and YouTube, so thank you very much. I think it's definitely this advantage of thinking of getting post office internet. Do not. Post office should be sticking to selling letters, not providing internet connections. There you go, yep. Johnny Daly says, some say the devil's dead, Karen, yeehaw, definitely. Seamus O'Merkcha said, Rob McDonald, Lourdes, Kinning, Park, Baldy. He sound looks like me or something. Andrew Gibson says, Play Nation once again. Hello from Republican Glasgow. Right, so we're back on YouTube, which is good. Right, so if any of you are watching on YouTube, just say yes, the stream is good and it isn't frozen. But I'm watching the screen now, it looks like it's all right. So yeah, but a fantastic version there of the Irish Brigade's Foggy Dew, and that's going to be one of the songs that's going to be on the new album I'm going to be putting out in April. Rebs for Hope, the album. So again, loads and loads of great artists. So there's maybe about 4 or 5 live songs. I picked a lot of really good live songs, and then the rest are all studio versions. So yeah, brilliant. Can't wait that there eventually comes out. Hopefully raise a lot of money. No one sings the Foggy Dew like Jerry and the Irish Brigade, Marty Heaney, definitely, mate. I think that's a cracking version, but I think I love the newer version better. The one they do live in Graces, where Anya's singing on it. That one with a wee solo bit at the end. That's fantastic, so it is. Right, so we're going to do this one here, a song off the album we've been pumping recently, The Stories of the Land, the Shanaghy sessions to big up their own McDonald, all the rest of the guys and girls involved out there. So we'll do this one here. It's a track I normally play Damien Quinn's version, but it's another equally lovely version in this one here. So it's called My Last Farewell. Of course, all about the final letter to Padraig Pearse. So it is in his prison cell before he was shot. So this is My Last Farewell, and this one's sung by Monica McGuigan. So it is on the Stories of the Land CD. Absolutely fantastic. So this is My Last Farewell on Rebel Sundays, folks. We've got another hour to go. So hopefully we're still on both streams, Facebook and YouTube, for another hour. Happy days. Right, here we go. My Last Farewell, folks. Rebel Sundays. Oh.
Mother, I am writing just to say I won't be home. There's something that I have to do, and I must do alone. They have took me and they've put me in this lonely prison cell. Tonight my thoughts are with you as I say my last farewell. So say goodbye to Margaret, Mary, Bridget and me all. I have no words to tell you how much I'll miss you all. And though I may not show it, you know I've loved you well. So in my final letter, I will bid my last farewell. Dearest brother, won't you take good care of all the folks for me? Go home to Rathfarnham on the day they set you free. I was happy when you stood by me in all that we've been through. No one has ever had so true a brother such as you. To say goodbye to Margaret, Mary, Bridget and me all. I have no words to tell you how much I'll miss you all. And though I may not show it, you know I've loved you well. So in my final letter, I'll bid my last farewell. Dearest mother, it's so very sad that now we have to part. To understand the reasons would trouble your poor heart. I have told you since I was a boy, it was my destiny to die a true brave soldier, so that one day you'd be free. So say goodbye to Margaret, Mary, Bridget, and me Hall. I have no words to tell you how much I'll miss you all. And though I may not show it, you know I've loved you well. So in my final letter, I'll bid my last farewell.
Yeah, it's my last farewell there for you folks. From the album The Stories of the Land, the Shanachie Sessions. That one there at that time was from Monica McGuigan. Fantastic. Right, so we're going to move on to get a few more comments for another hour to go for you. Michael Turner, Patrick Pearce, one of my heroes, great man, and an honour to stand outside his cell. Chucky R. Karen, Dixie Downey, what a beautiful song, definitely. So Anya is looking Grace. Yep, I'll get that on some stage this afternoon before we finish off. Maura Burns, how you doing, Maura? Is looking Provo's Lullaby. Right, so back on the YouTube, John Boy McElhenney wrote meant to say thanks for making my week, announcing you're going to play on the Patrick's Day, going to have a party no matter what. Yes, folks, so I forgot to say it on there. So normally I'd be out DJing somewhere or doing something on St. Paddy's Day. I've seen that this year. So you'll probably see me on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all. I'm going to do a show on St. Patrick's Day from 1 to 4. So it's going to be Wednesday the 17th of March. Looking forward to it. So it'll basically be a full-on Rebel Wednesday instead of Rebel Sunday. So get your beers and all. Hope you're all doing something in the house. I'm going to be off work anyway. So I'm looking forward to it, folks. Yes, so I'll be on YouTube and Facebook on St. Patrick's Day from 1 to 4. In case any of you didn't know. So mark that down to Derry. If you are listening to one show on St. Patrick's Day, make sure it's me from 1 to 4, folks, on YouTube and Facebook. Terry Mealy says, thanks for the tunes today, Ro. Rebel Sunday is the highlight of the week. Glass raised. Happy days. This is, folks, seeing all these comments like this. Loads of them coming through saying this is the highlight of the week. And it's great to be doing this here. You're all getting so much joy from it. Steph McNally says, demoted to the bedroom as the missus is now on a baby What? She's on a baby shower Zoom call. Can you fit in the... Never mind the Mary Playboy. What the hell is a Zoom baby shower? So I'm assuming that it's like basically a baby shower, only everybody's in their own house and nobody's actually in the house where the baby is. And you're all like showing each other their gift on the camera or something. The world's gone mad, I don't know, so it is. Shane McCrory, yep, it's going to be a grand St. Patrick's Day. Yes, folks will say, go be here on St. Patrick's Day from 1 to 4 on YouTube and Facebook. Maybe not as much Rebel stuff, a lot of folky stuff, a lot of trad stuff, but yep, we're going to be here, don't worry. Right, so what's up next? One of the my favourite songs off Gary, the Earl album, Live the Brazen Head. And say again, fantastic album, so it is, like, by the way. You all know, they've watched the documentary and all everything else about it. So we're going to do this one here. This is the Sunday Bloody Sunday, and it's written by John Lennon, this song, funnily enough, so it is, but this is our Ogue. Just the way this comes in here. Gary Ogue's, just the way he does this song, it's phenomenal, so it is. So here we go. This is our Ogue with Sunday Bloody Sunday on Rebel Sundays, folks. Steph McNally said, yep, that's it, exactly. Jesus Christ. I've heard it all now. A baby shower on Zoom. What the hell? Oh, I'm going to get myself a drink of water, by the way.
It was Sunday, bloody Sunday, when they shot the people there. The cry of 14 martyrs fill the very air. Is there anyone amongst you that's to blame it on the kids? That a soldier boy was bleeding when they nailed the coffin lids. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Well, you claim to be a majority, well, you know that's a lie. You're really a minority on the sweet Emerald Isle. When storming panzer marches, they've got a lot to learn. Internment is no answer, it's those mothers turn to burn. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Well, you Anglo-Pigs and Scotties sent to colonise the North, you wave your fucking Union Jack, well, you know what it's worth. How dare you hold to ransom our people proud and free? Leave Ireland for the Irish, turn the British back to sea. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Oh, and it's always bloody Sunday in the concentration camps. Keep the falsehood free from ever from those bloody English hands. Repatriates of Britain, all the who call it home. Leave Ireland for the Irish, not for London or for Rome. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day. Sunday, bloody Sunday, bloody Sunday's the day.
Go on the Gary Ogre if you are Oak live in the Brazen Head with Sunday, bloody Sunday, fantastic. This is Rebel Sundays, folks, from the Rebel the Rebel podcast with myself, Ro, here to 1 to 4 every Sunday, folks. Glad to have you all with me on YouTube and on Facebook. So what was I about to say there? Karen Dixie Tony says, I think you need a harder drink. Well, obviously I'm on the water, but not today because I need to go to the pet shop once I'm finished here to go and pick up Josie's new fish. Yeah, folks, so it's we've had a cat for the last too many years, and literally I had to get rid of it last week, send it off to pastures new. Don't worry, we didn't send it to the farm where the drop a breeze black on its head and kill it. We basically had to give it along to a nice old lady who could deal with it better than us, and hope she doesn't know that it secretly pisses all over your house, and that's why we get rid of it in the first place. We just can't have a cat, so we told Josie to get her a fish instead, and she's out down to the pet shop yesterday, and who knew having a goldfish was so complicated, to go through so many red tapes to own a goldfish. But yeah, we did anyway, so I'm going to pick it up today. Michael Turner says, nice walk along the seafront, Wake and Worthing, up with the Rebel, happy days. Right, Celine just says, hi to Hugh's neighbour, hope you're enjoying the show. Derek Delaney says, up and running here in Row, happy days in Dublin. Joseph McGuy says, he will not bow, please play James McLean by Damien Quinn. Yes, actually, I might get that on, because there's nothing, what's happened with James McLean right now is just disgusting. I'm sure you've all read the comments he's had on Instagram, death threats and all whatever. It's just looking at. There was a great quote there sent during the week. James McLean has actually donated more to the NHS than the British government, or sorry, than the royal family has. Just let that sink in. He's donated more to the NHS while this whole COVID's been on than the royal family has. Second, right, what's up next? I hope Craigie's still listening. He asked me this wee one earlier on, and this will probably decide whether we're going to be on Facebook today or not for any longer, because normally anytime you play a bit of Wolf Tones or Christy Moore, it just cuts off straight away. So this is Craigie was looking at this one. The Crack was 90 in the Isle of Man, a very old Christy Moore one, but one of my favourites. I definitely haven't heard this one in a while. So cheers to Craigie for highlighting it again. So this is my good mate Craigie over in North Belfast, bit of Christy Moore. The Crack was 90 in the Isle of Man.
Weren't we the rare old stock? Spent the evening getting locked in the S of Hearts, where the high stools were engaging. Over the footbridge down to the dock, and the boat she sailed at 5 o'clock. Hurry lads, says Whacker, before we're there we'll all be back. Carry him if you can. Oh, the crack was 90 in the Isle of Man. Before we reached the Alexander base, the ding-dong we did surely raise. In the bar of the ship had great sport as the boat she sailed out from the port. Landed up in the Douglas Head, inquired for a vacant bed in the dining room. Got shown by a decent woman up the road, lads said it if you can. Oh, the crack was 90 in the Isle of Man. Next morning went for a ramble round and saw the sights of Douglas town. Then we went for a mighty session in the pub that they called the Derby's. All got drunk by 3:30 to sober up and swimming in the sea. Back to the digs with the spruce up and while waiting for the Rosie, we all drew up our plan. Oh, the crack was 90 in the Isle of Man. That night we went to the Texas bar and came back down the horse and car. Met the Jim and we all went into the rink, some wine and Yates's. The Liverpool girls, it was said, were all to be met in the Douglas Head. McShane was there in a tie and short. The Florida girls, he was trying to flirt, saying, "Here, girls, I'm your man." Oh, the crack was 90 in the Isle of Man. Whacker fancied his good looks, and an Isleman woman he was struck. The Liverpool lad was by her side, and he threw in the jar into her. Whacker thought he'd take a chance, so we asked if we're run out to dance. Around the floor the stepped it out, to Whacker too was no bother. Everything was going to plan. Oh, the crack was 90 in the Isle of Man. The Isle of Man woman fancied a whack. Your man stood there till his mates came back, and whack, they all whacked into whack. Whack was landed on his back. The boneless force arrived as well, banded a couple of them as well, and ended up in the Douglas jail until the Dublin boat and sail deported every man. Oh, the crack was 90 in the Isle of Man.
James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. In Derry streets you shot them down, 14 were murdered by the British Crown. In Belfast City you did the same, killed innocent children, you showed no shame. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. You split our land with an English border, with their tanks and guns. You came to slaughter, but our people rose and fought you back. Now it's time you left us, give our country back. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. In November time, the poppy scene, worn by presenters on TV screens, refused to wear it, face racial chants, with threats to kill at a football match. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I wear upon my breast just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest. Like James McLean, we won't bow down to a British army or an English crown. I'll wear no poppy upon my breast, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest, just a three-leaf shamrock upon my chest.
There we go, the great Damien Quinn there for you with James McLean, We Won't Bow Down. Of course, all the shit that James has been getting recently. And the English media aren't helping, but it really annoys me. But see, when you read the comment sections of these, like a lot of posts people put up, and they'll say, oh, it's terrible, but like I really stand, like I feel for James McLean, but, or like I know he doesn't wear a poppy and all, but, and all those buts is usually, I mean, it's like it's usually followed by something like a real sectarian comment, but well, if he wants to earn the English coin or some crap like that there, he should be wearing a poppy and all this here shit. And so that there's an excuse to have basically your kids firebombed, your house to be firebombed, your house to be blew up for your kid to watch you getting your throat slit. Like, that's just disgusting. Some of the comments that and messages from these faceless trolls that he's been getting this past week or so. Absolutely disgusting. Derek Linear says, ambush at Clonoe from Chris, please row for the Carla in Glasgow. Listen, I've already played 3 songs from Chris today, so I'll maybe get it on next week for you in the show. But I might do ambush at Clonoe, do a different version. But I've already Martin Heaney says, I shove the poppy, fair play, James McLean. Celine said, oh, can't wait, definitely be tuning in to Patrick's Day, happy days. All I see here, folks, that's all. It's all just all starting with James McLean, happy days. Just to let you know the future guests we'll have come up, folks, just so you know. So obviously next week it's just back to myself for the 3 hours. Then the following week we'll have Kieran Warfield of Catalpa. You know, Kieran, it's Brian Warfield's son, and you've been listening to their podcast started off this week, very, very good. I've been tuning in myself. So Kieran's on in 2 weeks' time, and then the 2 weeks after that we'll have the great Maeve Walsh is coming on the show. She's booked in to play. So looking forward to having Maeve on the show. And then, folks, on Easter Sunday, I say I have a very, very, very special guest booked for the show. I can't really say who it is just yet, but as I say, he's big, so he is on the rebel scene, on the Irish music scene. He's coming on the show Easter Sunday, which he told me. I just gave him a few dates, and he said, I'll do Easter Sunday. He's like, whoa, I could literally do a whole show on this guy alone. So that's going to be something to look forward to. So I'll let you know maybe a week or so before that's going to be happening who the special guest we'll have for Easter Sunday is, but you'll be very, very surprised who it is. Celine said he's probably fell asleep, Martin. He's nearly 56. Obviously, they're all talking here about about Hugh O'Neill. He isn't a lad, like, so he probably needs his wee siesta, so he does. Michael Turner says, I'm 4th generation Irish, never wear a poppy, Easter lolly for me. Right, so what's up next? Right, loads of people asking for Grace. Now there is going to be a copy of Grace on the album we're doing, but it's the Callie's Main version. I played it last week, so it's Callie's Main version live in the Craig, and fantastic, so it is. So this time we're going to do a bit of Shebeen. Haven't done Shebeen the show in a while, so here's the great Alan Quinn and Shebeen with the Ballad of Grace, folks, on Rebel Sundays.
As we gathered in the chapel here in old Kilmainham jail, I think about those last few weeks. Oh, will they say we failed from our school days? They have told us we must yearn for liberty, but all I want in this dark place is to have you here with me. Oh, Grace, just hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They will take me out of town, and I will die. And with all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. No, there won't be time to share our love, so we must say goodbye. Now I know it's hard for you, my love, to ever understand the love I have for these great men. My love always to your land. But when Padre called me to his side down in the GPO, I had to leave my own sick bed to him. I had to go. Oh, gracious, hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. You'll take me out of dawn, and I will die. And with all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. No, there won't be time to share our love, so we must say goodbye. Now as the dawn is breaking, my heart is breaking too. On this May morn, as I walk out, my thoughts will be of you. And I'll write some words upon the wall, that everyone shall know. I love so much that I could see his blood upon the rose. Oh, gracious, hold me in your arms and let this moment linger. They'll take me out of town, and I will die. And with all my love, I'll place this wedding ring upon your finger. No, there won't be time to share our love, for we must say goodbye. No, there won't be time to share our love, so we must say goodbye.
Here's a song for young lives lost before their time, for daring lads cut down in their pride, in a land that longed for freedom and for peace. It's a prayer that all the heartache soon will cease. Sometimes it's hard to find the words to say, when the cut's so deep the pain won't go away. How much longer must we struggle, mourn and pray, till we see the light of freedom's dawning day? In their boyhood years these lads learned at first hand, they were only second class in their own land. Stopped and searched by police each time they walked the streets, and degraded by each foot patrol they meet. To those RUCN soldiers it was fun to intimidate our children with their guns, but there's some young folk who won't take any more, and there's some who'll want to even up the score. Barry O'Donnell was a thorn in England's side, he led his volunteers with dauntless pride, Sean O'Farrell stood beside him all the while, and we never will forget his roguish smile. Countless times in action these pair played their part, that they couldn't hold them broke the soldiers' hearts. But both lads knew they lived on borrowed time, but they'd make their mark before they crossed the line. In Island Square that February night, well, the sentries in the barrack all took fright. Oh, for on a lorry coming straight ahead was a unit of the East Tyrone Brigade. From that lorry's back the Irish flag flew high, and the big machine gun pointed at the sky. And when Barry with that gun began to shoot, oh, the Brits there longed for transfers to Beirut. As the tracer bullets split the barrack wall, our brave volunteers showed no fear at all. As that lorry drove away, the people cheered, little knowing that their cries would soon be tears. It was the boldest deed that little town had known in all the years of struggle in Tyrone. It was the saddest night that town would come to know, for the SAS lay waiting at Glenone. It was not until they had the big gun down, and our volunteers thought they were safe and sound, that the stars they opened up from every side, and on that killing ground for brave lads died. We lost both Peter Clancy on that night, a volunteer who scored Britannia's might. Young Paddy Vincent died there by his side. He gave his life for what he thought was right. We salute you, Barry Peter, Paddy Sean. Though you've left us, your memory will live on. For to the crown the knee you'd never bend, and you were bold and fearless to the end. So come all of you who love your native land, as for peace and freedom we march hand in hand. Our brave volunteers have not been lost in vain. From the ashes we will build our land. So come all of you, so come all of you who love your native land, as for peace and freedom we march hand in hand. Our brave volunteers have not been lost in vain. From the ashes we will build our land again. From the ashes we will build our land again.
There's Ambush at Clough there. I'm not sure who it was that asked me for that one there. I think somebody's looking at the Chris Carney version, but there we go. I think the lad's anniversary was last week. I shared that actually on Facebook. I sort of said that's definitely one of probably the hardest songs for Jerry Clacken to ever write, because I know he was a school teacher before he was sort of like for all his years, and he taught a couple of the guys that were killed in an ambush. So it must have been very, very hard for him to write that song. I see Johan is on from Stockholm, Sweden. Good to see you, Johan, mate. But I can't read what you've read here in Swedish. Can you try and write something for me in the good Queen's English so I can hear what you're saying? Maura Burns, a great song. To see Hugh here on YouTube just says, I got knocked off for a half an hour. We all know you're just away for a wee sleeper, Hugh, so you were. He needs his LCS, this week does. Carly McCrory says, brilliant music and crack as always. This is some of this. Well, see this YouTube stream, folks. You want to go on to it. It's like probably the Shankill Band sale. It's mad. So yeah, before we had the Ambush of Clough there, I had a bit of Grace with Shabeen. I can't believe we're still on Facebook here. It's about 2 hours, two and a half hours. Which is, fingers crossed, folks. Anyway, they're still on. Right, so what are we up next? Go to another track. Another song that's going to be on the album. It's going to be released in the Revs for Hope, the album, folks. Released in April, and there's a few songs that people might know as such, but the songs that should be out there. So this one is it's going to be from Clover's live album, recorded live in the Heart Bar in Cork. Now, there's a possibility they might be doing a studio version for me of this song for the CD, but we'll see what happens. But then again, this version still could end up on it, but it's still a cracking version. So it's, of course, a song called The Station at Not Long. A brilliant Limerick song about an event that happened in Not Long. It's really an event in our history, folks, that a lot of people don't really talk about enough. So it's the Clover from County Limerick with a great song from their own heartland. This is The Station at Not Long, recorded live at the Heart Bar in Cork.
Oh, the news has spread through Ireland and spread from shore to shore of deeds as these no living man has ever heard before. From out the guarded carriage in a panic-stricken throng, Sean Hogan, he was rescued at the station of Knocklang, when the guard of 4 policemen had the prisoner minded well, as the fateful train sped o'er the rail, conveying him to his cell. The prisoner then could scarce foretell of hearts both brave and strong. They were planning for his rescue at the station of Knocklang. Now the shades of evening were falling fast, and the train at last drew in. He was halted for an hour or so by a few courageous men. They sprung on to the carriage, and it did not take them long. Hands up or die was the rebel cry in the station of Knocklang. Now King George's pampered hirelings, they struggled up with fear, and pottered how they placed themselves full many a volunteer, and face to face with harried men to escape how did they long. But 2 of them met with traitors' death at the station of Knocklang. From Sonnlehead to Limerick, such deeds were never seen, and till a tear was ever shed for Wallace of Roskeen. They did all England's dirty work, they did not work too long, but the renegade they were numbered at the station of Knocklang. Now rise up, Mother Erin, rise up and be of cheer. You'll never die while at your side there stands such volunteers. From Dingle Bay to Garryowen, the cheers will echo long. Of the rescue of Sean Hogan at the station of Knocklang. Of the rescue of Sean Hogan at the station of Knocklang. Station of Knocklang, folks, thank you very much.
There's a place in dear old Ireland, in the county of red and white, where the Irish men and women there, they never give up their fight. Where the only army allowed there are the ones they call the Ra. And if you haven't guessed it yet, it's a village of Cappa. So come on, Maggie Thatcher, enough of your lies. Admit to the killings of the men that we despise. We want no made-up stories, the truth we want to know. how they were blew away by the IRA in Cabba in Tyrone. When the volunteers prepared themselves for the ambush they had laid, the Brits bring nothing but sadness here, it's time that they had paid. So when the SAS arrived, no past without no haste, till the XR3 pulled up alongside and put them in their place. So come on, Maggie Thatcher, enough of your allies. Admit to the killings of the men that we despise. We want no made-up stories, the truth we want to know, how they were blew away by the IRA in Kappa and Tyrone. Now England, get now to it, and forget about your pride. We saw those two soldiers there, lying side by side, and we hope you learn from your mistakes and to leave us all alone. And get your dolls to pack their bags and send them all back home. So come on, Maggie Thatcher, enough of your allies. Admit to the killings of the men that we despise. We want no made-up stories, the truth we want to know, how they were blew away by the IRA in Kappa and Tyrone. How they were blew away by the IRA in Kappa and Tyrone.
The good old East Tyrone Brigade of Ogden her and there for you. That's is the Kappa ambush. Of course, all about that. There, the time the good East Tyrone Brigade ambushed the SAS up in Kappa there, folks, and of course, Maggie Thatcher didn't want to admit what happened and trying to say, no, this didn't happen. Female men weren't brutally murdered and killed by the East Tyrone Brigade of the Ra. Dear, sure. Listen, folks. Michael Turner's looking Bobby Sands MP. Maureen Burns says up the rebels, and Johan's just jumped back as well. He says, sorry, Ro, just planning future trips to Glasgow with a good friend of mine who I saw was also watching. Well, that's all right. I don't know when you're going to be planning the trip to Glasgow anytime soon, Johan, but hopefully it's not in the too distant future. Shane McCrory says, SAS take care, the IRA are everywhere for safer travelling by sky because the IRA have an XR3. Definitely, there you go. Great lyrics, that song there, so it is. See, just watching this here, the comments here on this YouTube page, it's hilarious, like, so it is. Like, Celine and Marty Heaney and Hugh should put together their own 3-person podcast. I didn't know that the three of them never met each other, so they haven't, like, you know, but it'll be a quick crack listening to them. So, so what are we going to do next? Song is by Fergal O'Hanlon, of course, who was killed with Sean South. Michael Keane was looking to play the Patriot game. Let's go do this version this time. What do I have left? But another 20 minutes, folks, so loads more time to get a few more tunes in. Great show again, Ro. Need to hit a AA Zoom meeting. John Danfrey, not a problem. John, have a good one, mate. Stay safe. Right, so yeah, we're going to shoot on with it. This is the Patriot game. Of course, remember, Fergal O'Hanlon. And this is Rebel Sundays, folks, on the Rebel podcast on YouTube. And we're still on Facebook, so maybe Mark Zuckerberg must have given his wee minions a day off today. So fingers crossed. Here we go.
Come on, you young rebel, come let's while I sing. For the love of one's country is a beautiful thing. It banishes fear like the speed of a flame, and it makes us all part of the patriot game. My name is O'Hanlon, I've just gone 16. My home is in Monaghan, there I was weaned. I've learnt all my life for cruel England's to blame. So now I am part of the patriot game. It's barely 2 years and I wandered away where a local battalion of the of old IRA. I've read of our heroes, and I wanted the same, for to play my own part in the Patriot game. This island of ours has for long been half free. 6 counties are under John Bull's tyranny, and most of our leaders are greatly to blame for sharing their part in the Patriot game. They told me how Connolly was shot in a chair. The wounds from the battle, all bloodied and bare, his fine body twisted, all tortured and lame, and they soon made me part of the Patriots' game. And now as I lie here, my body all whole, and think of the traitors who bargained and sold, I wish that my rifle had given the same. Those bastards have sold out the Patriot game. So come on, young rebels, come list while I sing, for the love of one's country is a beautiful thing. It banishes fear like the speed of a flame, and it makes us all part of the Patriot game. Yes, it makes us all part of the Patriot game.
There we go, Spirit of Freedom there for you, the Patriot game. Of course, all about Fergal O'Hanlon, legendary song, that one. Folks, yeah, we'll have another 15 minutes to go today, a few more tunes to go. The problem was Fridays for Michael Keenan, yeah, that's that one, there you go, on YouTube. There's basically all this banter going back and forth on YouTube between Hugh O'Neill and Celine and Marty Heaney, and all the scenes popped up on Facebook again. Elaine, Marty's wife, says, "Martin Heaney, I'm watching you." So Marty, you just go on. You might have a house to go back to tonight. So you might need to keep your lock up. Joe Orif, listening in Philadelphia. Follow me up to Carlo, please. Don't know. It's not the kind of tunes when I'm playing this here show, so it isn't like. Michael Turner, what a day. West Ham won. Rebel Music and Celtic on at 9:30 and a few whiskies. Here, Michael, the Hammers aren't doing too well. Everybody was saying about David Moyes. What are you bringing him in for? But here he has the Emmons playing, so he does. Fair play to him. And Moisey, we made him at Celtic, so there were a few people a few years ago said that you wouldn't want to nail the job. We're going to do the Kelly's Men this time. Somebody asked for this wee song earlier on YouTube, but I cannot find the comment. I'm just looking through it here. But go to this one. This is from their album Live in the Cregan, so it's a fantastic version. And I say again, cheers to Mickey and the boys from Kelly's Men who've let me use one of their songs for the upcoming album coming out in April, which is Martin. I can discuss that with her. We're good friends. Shane McCroy was looking to meet me at the Pillar. Caroline Gould, how you doing, Caroline? Caroline, thanks. I love that song, Childhood Memories, listening from a hospital bed through earphones. So I hope you're doing well, Caroline. Sorry to hear it there. Right, so this is who was it? Kelly's Men again, yep. Live in the Craigan. Love that sweet tune. Last 15 minutes for you, folks.
They call it double law, we call it internment, apartheid, partition, conscription, and silence. It's the law that they use to keep you and me where they think we belong. They hide behind steel with bulletproof glass, machine guns and spies. And to tell us who suffer the tear gas torture leading to wrong. Well, there's no time for love if they come in the morning. No time to show tears about fears in the morning. No time for goodbye, no time to ask why. When the son of the siren is the cry of the morning. They suffered the torture, rotted in cells, they went crazy, wrote letters and died. And the limits of pain they endured, it was loneliness got them instead. And the courts gives in to justice as given by well-mannered thugs. And sometimes they fought for the will to survive, and most time just to wish they were dead. Well, there's no time for love if they come in the morning. No time to show tears about fears in the morning. No time for goodbye, no time to ask why. When the son of the siren is the cry of the morning. They came for young Francis Hughes and his cousin Thomas McElways well. Like they came for Patsy O'Hara, Tony Taylor and some of their friends. In Boston, Chicago, Saigon, San Diego, Palestine, Iraq, Afghanistan, Bogota, Derry, and Belfast. And those places they never made headlines, this never ends. Well, there's no time for love if they come in the morning. No time to show tears about fears in the morning. No time for goodbye, no time to ask why. And the son of the siren is the cry of the morning. Give to your sisters and brothers the world to fight each on. For they say you get used to the war, and that doesn't mean that there's spoilers in song. For the fish need the sea to survive, like your people need you. And those death squads can only get through to them. At first you can't get through to you. Well, there's no time for love if they come in the morning. No time to show tears about fears in the morning. No time for goodbye, no time to ask why. And the son of the siren, son of the siren, son of the siren. Yes, the cry of the morning.
Yeah, no time for love there for you folks. from brilliant Kelly's Men live in Craiglan and Derry. There's just a few people just messaged me here, and I was going to give this out before just after my show finishes, because obviously it's sort of clashed a bit today. Yeah, there's a great busy evenings of Rebels on today, folks. From 3 o'clock. I've just started there at 3 o'clock, but it's been on for an hour. So if you head over once I'm finished, of course, folks, another 10 minutes. So head over to Rosie Joe's pub on Facebook, Rosie Joe's Dairy, and there'll be a great day of remembrance in honour of Eamon Peggy McCourt, who obviously passed away there a few weeks ago. So all the money is obviously going towards his family. I think we were looking a bit, because of unexpected death, you know, so every penny helps. So we started off at 3 o'clock with Sean McCafferty, 3:30 the brilliant Barry Davey, 4 o'clock Alban Norney is on, 4:30 Gary Lawler from the Druids will be on, 5:10 Alan Quinn, then you have Ricky Nixon, and then 6:30 Chris Carney of Aaron Gobra, who had Chris on the day. It's up there 7. There's Fergal from up around there in Lifford and Donegal, brilliant Saturday just as well. At the 7:50, he just heard there and Kelly's Men there on, and then the finish night off at 9 o'clock is Glasnevin. So folks, that's ours over in the Rosie Joe's Facebook page there, so it is. So get over that there. It's going to be a great cause, of course, for in honour today of Eamon Peggy McCourt. Let's see. Right, Conor McLaughlin, just listening up there in Limavady. Conor, good to see you on, mate. Just saying there about Eamon's doing, so it's on there from 3 o'clock over in Rosie Joe's. Right, so it looks like Hugh and Celine and Marty are going to get together their own podcast. That'll be some cracks at well. So I better be your first guest, so I better be. Right, so who had asked me here? For Shane McCrory, he was looking to meet me at the Pillar. So obviously, Sean McCafferty, who was on first there today on the Rosie Joe's page, you go to a song from his sister, the fantastic, talented Kieran McCafferty. And as you know, anytime we get asked to play Meet Me at the Pillar, I always do this version. I just, I think it's, I don't know if it's on the CD or not. This is from the launch night, so it is, of the Raising Songs and Stories night for Jerry Mack. So here we go. This is Kieran McCafferty with live version Meet Me at the Pillar, especially for Shane McCrory. Last few tunes today, folks, on Rebel Sundays with myself, Row. Here we go. Jesus.
He was walking down by Island Bridge, just doing as I please. The April day was sun and warm, there was but a gentle breeze. I wandered up the old stone steps into the Phoenix Park to watch the children laugh and play in the hours before dark. I strode up to the monument and I lay down on the ground, and people started crying when they heard about our son. I don't know what came over me. For a moment I could hear the echo of a soldier's voice kept calling in my ear. Meet me at the Pillar, son. Please meet me there at noon. I need you, brave young Irishman. There's something we must do. Meet me at the Pillar, son, for still it's not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. I turned around to see you smile, but nobody was there. In the distance I could hear the drums, yet a stillness fills the air. I close my eyes and in my dreams a soldier I could see. He said his name is Patrick Pierce and kept on calling me. Meet me at the Pillar, son. Please meet me there
I need you, brave young Irishman. There's something we must do. Meet me at the pillar's sun, for still it's not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. The full night I lay awake, and many times I cried. I could not answer his command, no matter how I tried. There in the dark I did my best to say a silent prayer, that when they take him to his fate, you know how much I care. Meet me at the pillar's sun, please meet me there at noon. I need you, brave young Irishman. There's something we must do. Meet me at the pillar's sun, for still it's not too late. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait. It's time to sing a freedom song. Come soon, I cannot wait.
There we go, folks. That's from the Raised on Songs and Stories album. Ciaran McCaffrey, Meet Me at the Pillar. Yeah, so Shane Fagan just said, who's singing this row? Fantastic version. Yeah, it definitely is. Young girl from Derry, called Ciaran McCaffrey, mate. If you're searching the YouTube, you can search that song there and all the other songs from the launch night, that CD. Just search for Raised on Songs and Stories, Ciaran McCaffrey, and you'll find it. There you go, Karen's just singing along there about my song. Right, so folks, we're going to finish up here for you. I'll play one more song. Thank you to everyone that is tuned in. And again, apologies for the internet problem at the start. I think we could be mad enough grief us, so we're not blaming her anymore. So again, if you're thinking of getting post office broadband, don't stick to somebody that does proper broadband, like Virgin Media or something. They should stick to posting letters. No problem, Shane, there you go. Right, so folks, we'll finish up this one. If any of you can throw a wee tip in, it'd be much appreciated. Just put it in there, scan your phone with the wee QR code, or just send direct to PayPal. PayPal.me/DJ Rose Show. Folks, keeps the show going on a Sunday here. So I say I'm back next Sunday on my own. No guests next week, so 3 hours myself, 1 to 4. And again, hopefully the Celtic can do the job tonight. But again, who really cares this stage, you know? We just want to get the season over and done with. So here we go. We're going to finish up the last song of the day from Emer's new album that's out at the minute. A Thorn in England's Side. So this is the one is The Legend. Normally we play this song nearly every other week, different versions, but I haven't actually played Emer's version yet. So this is from her album. It's out on Spotify at the minute. You can buy a hard copy from Emer's Emer Rebels Facebook page, folks. So get on it. It's a brilliant CD, so it is a great album. It's her latest studio album. So it's my last one, folks. I'll see you all next Sunday from 1 o'clock. This is Emer McLaughlin with The Legend on Rebel Sundays.
Just the other night at the Yankee Stadium, underneath the light, I heard a man speaking after years and years in jail. His name, it was Mandela, and he came to tell his tale. Crowd, they cheered him loudly, but then the silence fell as he spoke about the hard years in a South African cell. And though he was free, his heart was feeling pain, for his country and his people were still a part of that shame.
said he hoped that we would join him and walk down freedom's path. That these roads would be the hardest, oh, but they would be the last. And to join our hands together so we might be as one, and to bring ourselves to the cause so the battle could be won. I went home to bed that evening, went to sleep and I had a dream. Standing in the pouring rain in an Irish field of green, and all around the headstones were the martyrs of the past. We stood there in silence, then they spoke to me at last. Kevin Barry is my name, and I died in a cell. They wanted the names of my comrades, oh, but this I would not tell. And I am Roger Casement, I was shot in London town for bringing German rifles to the lonely Bannistrand. James Conley is my name, working people are my life. When they shot me down in Cullen and jail with strife, and I am Padraig Pearse, I was shot down by the foe. The great proclamation at the steps of the GPO. And the last voice that I heard says my name is Bobby Sands. It's good to hear Mandela's words ringing through the land. I want to hear them in Belfast, in Free Derry and Tyrone. Maybe then those English soldiers will know it's time to go home. I woke up in the morning, I remember them all. And who would believe that they knocked down the Berlin Wall? And now said Mandela, could this really be? Maybe now we will see Ireland reunited and free. Maybe now we will see Ireland reunited and
Shanna Fina at Safi Alligator, winds are slow, her tender rannicum, they fudge face hair, chanting a shuncher fasta, the akbar, pantiran of the town, and God's my Sabarnwell, they gone their hill, and was no sill, they gone their grave, they labot now be lit, Charlotte cannon around the veil.
You've been listening to Rebel podcast of Rory Carson. To listen to this and past episodes again, and to also check out future episodes, keep an eye on our official SoundCloud page. We're also available on all social media outlets. Just search Rebel podcast. Bhí si bh géisteach an sin is an fád cruúlaí Rebel le Rory McCarson. Le héisteach le seo agus hir hagran a ríis, agus na hagran atá le teach, caisúil ar siúificail sugin ar SoundCloud, agus táid ar fáil ar gach cinneal ardan ar na main thuisiilta. Ní mór dit ach fád cruúlaí Rebel a chuirda.